And we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Hello and welcome, Andy and Jared, Cleveland and beyond. He's Andy Billman. I'm Jared Watson, and this podcast is brought to you by Waiting for Next Year. Check them out, original Cleveland sports reporting at waitingfornextyear.com. Well, as the Browns head into Dallas, the big question is, will Kareem Hunt play? He's dealing with the groin. We've got the latest on that. Hopefully the answer is yes. Yes, rather. Homecoming for Myles Garrett in his home state of Texas, but can the Browns slow down the hurry-up style of offense for the Cowboys, who will win the showdown of star running backs, Chubb or Zeke? That's the question there. Let's do a quick check. Yes, the Tribe 2020 season, it's still over. What a bummer. And we'll break that down with what happened and what is ahead for Mr. Frankie Lindor. Can't wait to talk about that, Andy.
It's going to be a lot.
I was in a good mood from the beginning of the read. Now I'm in a bad mood. And finally, LeBron looks to be headed to another NBA championship. I'm happy for LeBron. But first, let's do a Texas two-step to Dallas. You're 2-1, Cleveland Browns.
You got to lead off with the Browns because what happened to the Tribe is 48 hours, away. Feels like the other day. But let's not be naive, fans. We all love Cleveland and beyond, but this is going to be a lot of Tribe stuff. But let's get off to the Browns. So, the big story this week is this, I think. Is this a game we'll remember in December? I doubt it. Maybe if there's something exciting happens. Is this a game where you go, hey, look, we're going to really find out, about some new things on this team? No. Is this a good tester for the Browns? Yes. Is this a good moment to see what we got from 6? I think you're hearing that a lot. I think the answer to that is yes. Are we ready to see the two-back attack? Well, that's a question. I think the big thing that Jared hit off, which I'm willing to lead off with, is will Hunt play? Before we even came on live, my partner made a really good point. He goes, do you think Hunt should play? And I kind of pondered that. That's a really good question. This is a good week if the Browns lose, it's not going to shock a lot of people. And the season's not over because it's an NFC East team. It's a win that you can it's a loss that doesn't hurt anything. If the Browns win, the locomotive of excitement really gets into high gear. Yeah. Because this is a very good win because the Cowboys need this win, Jared. It's still on the road. I know it's not in a normal season with COVID, but still on the road. And Jared, let's be frank. Usually the Browns in these games usually spit the bit. So this is a good week. The Hunt story is the biggest story going in. I think they're being precautious for a reason, just because of what I just said 20 seconds ago. I don't know if you have to have this game.
Well, and that's exactly what I'm thinking with Hunt too. But here's the thing: he went out there and he practiced today, right? The word was that he was pushing through injuries, and so was Denzel Ward as well.
It sounds like Ward and him are both going to play. And Stefanski even said he looked pretty good. He's working through it, going through it with Hunt, and got to be mindful of what he can do. We will see how he responds over the next couple of hours, end quote. That's from Stefanski on.
I'm just not a fan of pushing through injuries on a game that you don't necessarily have to win. Although I would say that you would like to have that feeling of one win breeding, wins breeding wins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, it is a risk reward situation here, which is kind of silly here to be the fourth game of the season and really wondering whether we should press with someone. I mean, they know better. The trainers know. Hunt knows how he feels. We'll go with that. That's fine. Whatever they decide on game day, I'm okay with. I don't know whether we can even consider this a game day decision, a game time decision. From right now, it seems like he's going to play. There's no reason to think he's not going to play, but we'll see how that presses forward. Again, Andy, this was never picked as a win in my front half of the season. Anyways, it wasn't. I'm sticking with this right now. That 3-5 is how I believe that these Browns are going to start off the season, and possibly 4-4 at best. And that is the win with Cincinnati. And if they can steal one from Pittsburgh, I would love that. I just don't have it in me to say that they're going to be able to travel to Dallas and come up with a win this week. There is nothing that secondary has shown me that makes me think that they're going to be able to stop Dallas from scoring points, that they are going to be able to withstand them as a defense. And I mean, tell me where I'm supposed to put my hopes in. Normally I would tell you my hopes are within Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, right? I mean, that's where we're at. But at this point, I know he's going to play, but I don't know that we can do that if Hunt's got that injury or a groin that he's dealing with. So Andy, I'm coming into this game with low expectations, and I just do not expect them to win. I know I'm giving that away really early here in this conversation, but that is just where I am right now. I do not expect them to go and take this game in Dallas. I don't. You're gonna have to convince me that they can do it.
All right, let me give you some sunshine.
There we go. You got the sunshine. Bring it.
If Hunt is healthy, he should play. That's my first statement. The only reason why I would stay away from this is something where the doctors say he could injure something further. If that, and by the way, that could happen in any injury, but I really think Hunt should play. 1, 2, the Chubb and Hunt machine. Fire and Ice is what I'm hearing some nicknames from people.
That's a better nickname than Ken Carmen's. Go ahead.
Terrible. Terrible. The one thing is that in this game that this could do is this could elevate a team and take it over. And the one thing that shouldn't be ignored is you win this game, it could be a boulder. It makes you feel very good playing Indianapolis and going to Pittsburgh. And I think those are games. Indianapolis is a winnable game. They should beat the Raiders later on in the year at home. They got to start winning these games. Now, the Cowboy game has a lot more diciness flavor because it's an NFC team. And that's the reason why it makes you – it's kind of – these games to me, I've always said this, is more of like you want to win them. You don't have to win them unless you're late in fighting for playoff games. All to be said, the Browns aren't there yet. I think the Browns need to try to win this game. If Hunt can play, he needs to play. And again, the attractiveness of this game is, Jared, if you win this game, I think it can boulder forward. And the Browns do have something that they have got to start leaning on that we all talk about. The running game can lead you to big things and champion this team to big things. And they need to start doing that. Now, this injury report of Claiborne, Tay Davis, and Greedy Williams are out. That's the big story there.
Can we just say that Greedy Williams, let's just assume that he's out until he's actually in. Let's just assume this every week. Greedy Williams isn't going to play until he plays. I don't even know what we're talking about here with Greedy. I don't. What are we talking about here? What is the deal with Greedy Williams?
I wouldn't expect much anyways because he didn't play well last year, but they certainly need bodies in the secondary.
Well, what is he doing? What is the problem?
He's just Stefanski. Here's what Stefanski said on Williams. Quote, I don't really have the medical degree to dive into it, but we're just trying to take it each day. He's doing a great job, and he's fighting to get back out there, end quote. Okay. I will just say, I watched that press conference. He did say that, and he put the right tone on it. It gritted. That was a gritting answer. That was not an easy answer for him. You can tell he's worn down by this. And I don't think he's worn down by Greedy. I think he's worn down by the situation. Because the Browns need Greedy Williams out there just for another body secondary. It's pretty obvious. I mean, look, all that to be said, they're going to get Mac Wilson back. That's a big deal. The interesting thing to me in this game is, can the Browns still win with Chubb and Dontrell Hilliard? Can the Browns win in a game where finally Mr. Mayfield, who is a Texan, comes home and plays well? He talked about this game pre-pandemic being a big game for him. I did not get that vibe this week in listening to him. I think he thinks it's a big game, yes, but you can tell because everything that's going on that it's not that same zip. It's not that same 5 or whatever else from Mayfield. Mayfield still talks to me like Jared, a guy who understands he needs to play better. I guess here's something that I think would be interesting for this team. I get the vibe the Browns are going to score points. I get the weird vibe Mayfield's going to play well. But you alluded to it. I was going to hammer it home. This defense. Can this defense slow down a team that loves to, and they've been talking about all week, running fast. They want to move quickly, a hurry-up offense. They like to go fast. And that is something that the
deep at receiver, Andy. They can go anywhere with the ball.
And Zeke Elliott. I mean, that's a lot of talent. I mean, this is actually the first time where we're playing, like, again, the Ravens, they have Lamar Jackson, but that's really the quarterback. And really, it was weird. Even the Ravens game, you didn't really feel the running game, even though they can really run the ball. The last two teams really, the Bengals, strangely enough, didn't really run the ball well. And Washington, Jared, if they can actually slow down Zeke Elliott, I actually can see the way the Browns win this game because we've seen it. If you keep passing and keep passing, even with someone like Dak Prescott, I don't think it's necessarily a way to win a game. So I think the key to this game, honestly, I was going to mention this to you. Can Myles Garrett continue to do the Lawrence Taylor type things on big plays, make big downs? And honestly, Jared, the run defense, which we've been at times on this podcast, and rightly so, have been hammering, can they contain Zeke Elliott? They contained Mixon. They gave nothing to the Redskins. Can they contain Zeke? I think if they can, I'll be honest with you, the script reads like the script reads. The Dallas Cowboy defense is ranked in the bottom 4th of the league. They've had a hard time.
Yeah, but Andy, I haven't seen. I mean, this is one of those opportunities that we're talking about here when it comes to Baker Mayfield. Baker has an opportunity here to come out and shine a little bit, and I have not seen him take advantage or pick apart a shitty defense.
I agree.
When is he going to do that? He has not done it. He has looked terrible. No, well, let's change that. He has not looked like he can go to that next level and do that himself. And this is a game where if they are in it, it might be required of him.
Well,
in the game for a game-winning drive on against this Dallas team. That's a possibility with this one. Here's the other thing we got to bring up here that might be something to at least have in the back of your mind, and that is the words of Jerry Jones regarding Dak Prescott that have come out over the past, was it last week? There is a lack of confidence in Dak. There just is.
And by the way,
and I'm wondering if Dak is finding that to be motivating, or if he's saying, fuck it, I'm done with this asshole.
He's playing really well. Dak has had a really, really good start to the year. He looked great against Seattle. Again, the Cowboys, and here's why I'm actually going to give this game a lot more hope. The Cowboys really did not have a problem scoring. Dak's throwing the ball really well. In fact, Zeke Elliott has not got – here's my one caution. Zeke Elliott has not gone off yet this year. He's not gone off yet. He's not had that game where they've been riding him to the promised land. They're big offensive tackles coming back this week. They have some things coming back. The Browns – can't emphasize this enough. I know they played the Ravens, but the Ravens they weren't prepared. So
I know. And again, this isn't meant to be conspiracy here, but this is an honest to God question, and I don't know well enough. But I'm wondering if him not going off has anything to do with any residual, fatigue from his experience with COVID when that comes to Zeke.
Maybe.
Maybe. That's a possibility that he's covering up a little bit of fatigue. Now, I don't know. This is not
Zeke Elliott.
All it is something to think about. I'm not suggesting this is a conspiracy or anything. Listen, by the way, I'm exhausted with conspiracies. Can we be done with those? Anyways, it's just something to think about. I'm wondering, these are the things that I'm going to be thinking about throughout this game.
If they stop Zeke Elliott, I think the Browns have the plan to win, because here's the one thing. The Dallas Cowboys are going to go hurry up. If the Browns can control the clock, even without Hunt playing, maybe, which I think Hunt's going to play, Chubb can control the clock. They get enough of those first downs. So one thing in this game that's really going to be key that the Browns have not gotten away from in their 2 wins is still bad 3-and-outs. They still have 4 or 5 drives a game where it's just 3-and-out, and it's like that. It's quick. In this game, even if you this is the first time all year, even if you get 1 first down, that's a big start. You have to
give your defense a fucking breather. When you do that 2-3 times in a row, you're putting way too much pressure on that defense. You are wearing them out. And this is not a defense that can do that. They can go to the sidelines and be like, phew, thank God, let's take a break for a minute. And then, oh shit, really? That quick? We're back out there? They're doing it over and over again. Andy, that's got to stop.
The Browns they're not playing great, but they progressively gotten better each week.
They have.
They have done a nice job of controlling the lines. Now, again, it's going to be very tested in this game. But I think people are forgetting some simple things. And the simple, Chubb shows 250 yards total rushing. Paul Flynn, thank you very much, Mr. Paul Flynn.
Paul Flynn on
Facebook. The biggest thing in this game, though, again, can the Browns just hold the line, control the clock? Because if you have a team that's going to play fast, let them play. At times, you're not going to be able to slow that down anyways. If you control the clock on your end, even if you go down the field and you kick field goals, or you get down and you get touchdowns, and you control this stuff, you have enough there to win a game. They're going to have to go old school Giants football that we all watched with O.J. Anderson playing the Bills in the Super Bowl. You're going to control the clock, get first downs, milk, and make them punish for their play. The Browns have shown in 2 games that they can do that. Now, they are not at an elite level yet. But the one thing, they have been progressing each week. Now, this is the test. I think we're all going to come back and give that, which we love to do on the show, which we'll do, our 25% in. Here's the report cards. Here's where we're at. Literally in this game, this is going to really prove that report card. Because the Browns are 2-1. The Browns have shown some things. The running game is not bullshit. Chubb and Hunt can control the game. This offensive line is very, very good. They're playing against a bad defense. You can do this. I don't think the Cowboys are just going to stop. Here, I'll say this. The Browns are going to score 20-plus points. They are. They're going to score 20 plus points.
Okay.
They are. Now, will the Browns defense give up 30 plus? That's the question. That's the question.
Oh, I mean, I don't think that they're going to give up 30 plus. I've already got a score in my head.
Okay.
So
Vegas, by the way, that line has come down to 4.5. I think it's at 4 today. A lot of money going on the Browns. A lot of money going on the Browns.
I honestly, this is close to being a gimme for me and taking Dallas. I'm not lying. I'm dead serious. That's how I'm feeling this week.
Before I hold off to my answer, I'm gonna give some more positivity. The Browns penalties are down from a year ago. Tony Grossi pointed out.
Now that has been beautiful.
That has been beautiful. Rodney Harrison also did a good deed of the day. Just real quick, I'm going way off topic, but people need to read his story. He actually helped a Samaritan on the road whose tire got blown out. Very, very, very cool story. Rodney Harrison, who can't wait to see him play. Just want to make that mention in there that he got a good shout out today in the press conference. I thought that was a really, really cool story. And sometimes in life, all these things get buried. That should be brought up. So here's the big things we just talked about. It's easy in this game. I think Mayfield does not have to win the game still. I think that's being way overblown. If you have Chubb against a defense line that clearly is having struggles outside of sacks, force the ball down their throat, control the clock, you can win this game. The Chubb-Zeke Elliott matchup is the one that's going to win the game to me. I think that whoever wins that battle is actually going to win this game. And sometimes you don't like saying that because that puts too much pressure. Not in this case. I think whoever rushes for more, whoever has a more impact on this game. If Zeke Elliott isn't fouled, I bet you the Browns win the game.
Well, let's throw this in here too as a wild card, as something else to pay attention to, and that's going to be the special teams of the Browns and punt returns. Will Donovan Peoples-Jones be the guy back there, and what kind of electric can he bring to the field if he is the one returning these punts and kicks? Because Andy, nothing's been announced yet on who's going to be returning, but the Browns did pick up. Was it a released Steelers player, I believe? They picked somebody up and threw him on it, which means they've elevated others. So here we are. Is it going to be Peoples-Jones, and what is that going to do? Is that going to change things? Is he going to be a dynamic enough presence on those returns to give the Browns? This is something that they have done well. The Browns have done really well with good field position this season.
Yes.
Is he going to be able to give them a short field, which plays in favor of Baker Mayfield and that rushing offense?
Stefanski made no announcement today. He deflected that question beautifully, like a good Belichick kind of answer there. So he says they are ready to roll, but he's not making an announcement. Mm-hmm. According to Cleveland.com, Mary Kay Cabot, Browns receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones will likely be active for the first time this season. Not guaranteeing anything, in part to replace JoJo Natson. To what my partner just said, I think everything's pointing to Peoples-Jones playing. D'Ernest Johnson was shaky. I'm just saying that. By the way, if D'Ernest Johnson's back there, just catch the ball and get down. Don't try to return.
Yeah, and don't do anything cute. I mean, remember, Andy, we don't like cute. I don't need to see something like Landry back there, or I don't need cute. I need something that's solid. And I got to be honest with you. You're talking about a guy who returned plenty of kicks for that team up north. I mean, from what I've seen play on the field wise, I can't come up with a reason why it wouldn't be Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Peoples-Jones needs to play in this game. It's time. It's time. And by the way, I think it is time. I think this is just fool's gold. If it is D'Ernest Johnson, that's a mistake. I'm telling you, unless Peoples-Jones is hurt.
Agreed.
Because I'm telling you, it's time for Peoples-Jones to shine. That is a weapon, and I'll be truthful. I know JoJo played better last week. I did not like how he kept running into traffic. At that size, you cannot run into traffic.
No, and bing, bong, boing, bing, bong.
And he got hurt, by the way. And by the way, he got hurt. And I'm not saying it happened on one of those plays. We don't know. But
he's not a guy that looks like he is going to take many NFL hits. I'm sorry. He's just not.
He's smaller than Metcalf, and Metcalf was a very good punt returner. I mean, again, he's not McNeil, but he's close to Ice Cube. He's close to that size.
It's not just the way that he ran. He was bouncing off of guys, and it looked
into traffic.
It looked rough.
Into traffic. Yeah, I agree. Aldon Smith is the sack leader. He's having a great year for the Cowboys. The one thing I want to bring up this week that I kind of alluded to, but I want to hammer it. Myles Garrett is really made impact now on 2 wins that really set the tone for how the game was going to be played out. And he finished off the football team, and then he did a nice job the week before against the Bengals that won that game, in my opinion.
Well, those last 2 games, it's like he's the one who shut it down both games. He's the one who said, that's it, we're done.
Turn out the lights.
Both games.
Turn off the lights. I just think Myles Garrett, this is a big game for him. He mentioned that in the press conference this week. I don't think people should lose sight of that. Again, this is the kind of win. You know what? It's time to stop fucking around. Win this game and get some momentum. Win this town. We're fucking bruised and beat up. The fucking Yankees pissed on our heads. We're about ready to talk about it. We can use a goddamn win against a goddamn team that has a lot of presence. And the Yankees and Cowboys have a lot of presence. We shit the bed against the Yankees. It'd be nice to win this game. It'd be nice to win this game. And by the way, the Browns have enough talent to win this game. This is not a young team. That's the difference here. People in the past go, the Browns aren't that young. Time to start winning games like this, Jared. Time to start winning games. Are you sticking to your prediction of the Cowboys winning?
I am until the Browns prove me wrong. Okay. I am more than happy to be proven wrong about this prediction. Dallas 28, Browns 17.
All right.
I think that Dallas does make mistakes.
That's right.
I'm dealing with wiener dogs barking, of course. Eventually, Andy, I'm going to move into the home that I bought. Eventually. But until then, I'm living with my mother. Yes, 39 years old with my mother. It's great. Let's talk about it.
Sitcom's coming out soon. Tuesday night on Cleveland and Beyond.
So Dallas is going to make their mistakes. I believe that there will be some turnovers. I believe that just will be the thing that happens. I don't think that they're going to put up 30, but I do think that they are going to beat the spread, and I think they're going to beat Cleveland pretty cleanly. I think it's going to be 28-17.
I cannot believe I'm doing this. You know what? It's time. The Browns are going to win this game. This is one of the. I'm done with this. I was so. You know what? You did it. You did it. All right. The Cowboys aren't that good. McCarthy hasn't had a clean start. The Cowboys could be 0-3 in this game. They're 1-2, and everybody assumes that they're going to win. So you know what? This is a new era. If I believe in this analytics stuff, it's time. The Browns actually control the clock. The Browns do enough in this game. Zeke Elliott does not go off. He has not looked the same all year. Why would that change today? The Cowboys defense stinks. You know what? And Myles Garrett's going to make another good play to win this game. They're going to win 31-28. They're going to control the clock. The Cowboys will do a rush late. And I think Mayfield will actually play calm, and he keeps improving, and he keeps talking like he's going to improve. So if I got to start believing in this, I will be the one to carry the champion. No one fucking believes the Browns are going to win this week. Fine, I will. The Browns are going to win 31-28. It's enough of this shit. From all these people, including my partner who I love, it's enough. The Browns are going to win this game. It's time to start proving things, start taking this thing over. I can't take this anymore. This is more of a passion pick. I can't do another show with things going bad, which we're about ready to do with the fucking Indians. Time to win this game. Chubb's going to have a great day. He's going to do big things. You know what? The Browns have shown enough growth where I think they'll make a big incremental growth, then they'll beat the Cowboys. The Dallas Stadium, even if it wasn't a COVID year, is not an intimidating place to play. The Cowboys defense stinks. It's time. I believe. I'm actually saying I believe.
Here's the deal, Andy. If the Browns win this game, I'm going to spend big bucks on my brand new Browns jersey.
Well,
I'm going to get one of the officials. I'm not getting some painted on numbers bullshit. I'm getting one of the official jerseys, and I'll buy it right after that game if they win. That's what
I'm going to say it again. Because everyone's doing this, I feel like I have to stand up for the Browns. I've seen improvement. I know what this running game can be. I think Hunt will play. They will control the clock. Will the Cowboys score? Sure, they will. Yes. But the Browns will do enough to win and control the clock, what they've been doing. I think you'll see it again here on Sunday. I'm surprised. Everyone loves the Cowboys. Not this guy. Prove me right, Cleveland.
Andy, I need to bring this up too before we move on. You're right. And prove Andy right. Prove me wrong.
By the way,
No, go ahead. I wanted to ask you a question.
I hope because honestly, before this show, I would have picked the Cowboys. But after listening to Jared and listening to everybody else this week, I'm like, you know what, though? The Browns aren't that bad. They are 2-1. I know they've been two crappy teams. Again, there is one fucking horrific Falcons special teams play from being 0-3. Cowboys should be 0-3. This has not gone well.
have you, by the way, are we, and I need to remind myself of this because obviously I float through Twitter, I don't know, like 6 hours a day because I've got a problem.
7 for me.
Oh, it's awful. It's not good. I really need to stop. I can't though some days. My wife wants to kill me.
My phone loves it.
Have you noticed that I've seen folks posting numbers on Baker's first 3 years and comparative numbers and everything? Baker's numbers, when you're just looking at the numbers, when you're not doing the eye test, right? The eye test. Baker's right on par with some of the greats. So I
slow growth.
Maybe I need to back off of some of, and Andy.
The Browns are 2-1. The Cleveland Browns are 2-1.
Right, and he's not turning the ball over, man.
Well, last week he did not.
Well, change that. But here, let's talk about the his accuracy. I guess comparisons. His accuracy in his first 3 years. His accuracy isn't as bad as I thought it was. I think it's just that his misses are so egregious and at the worst times. At least it feels like it's on those 3 and outs. Maybe that's the issue.
He has Brett Favre syndrome, where Brett Favre once or twice a game would have terrible throws, and Mayfield's got 2 terrible throws in him a game. By the way, he admitted this week the team he rooted for growing up was the Packers. Why? Because he idolized Brett Favre. And I'm going to be honest, if you watch Baker Mayfield, Favre has a much more talented arm. Mayfield does play like Brett Favre.
Yeah.
For Favre, 2 or 3 times a game just has throws where it's like, what the fuck was that? And Mayfield does the same.
Well, and he's not throwing. I mean, he's throwing turnovers, but it's not as brutal as Manning was. I mean, so.
Yeah, I mean, look, Mayfield steadily improved. He played awful. His accuracy was terrible against the Ravens. He looked better against the Bengals. I thought he played better again against the Redskins, even though his numbers didn't show it. I thought he played much better, and he actually did a better job. And by the way, he's admitting in things he needs to improve on. If that is the mentality of Baker, I do think this will come together. I said this on the last podcast. He is slowly getting better. I think that's good for him and good for this team. We all want instant success. I do too, but I think it's better for this team to slowly, gradually get it. And again, the Browns are 2-1. The Cowboys are 1-2. And this whole week has been the opposite. And people in Vegas are saying I guess my prediction is like the Browns, they think the Browns are going to win. Mm-hmm. People in Vegas are saying, not me, not Jared. People in Vegas. I mean, the line has moved. Volume was at 6 or 7, and now it's at 4.5. So it's amazing. We'll see. All that to be said, this is a good tester game. It's okay if they lose. It's not. You don't want that. But I got to be fair. It's an NFC game. Yeah. This game does not impact the playoffs. Right. You're not expected to win this game. That gives me hope too. I think I will say this. The Browns are talking like a team for the first time in forever, bless you, who does not have any. I know. Not your dog. It's fine. It's part of the show now. All that to be said. The
doors opening and closing. I got fucking dogs running around. I got lawnmowers going on outside. Fuck it. I might as well just go to like a party if that was a thing right now, right? Like with COVID's kind of stopped that. Although bars are open. Maybe I'll just go and sit down at a bar and host the show there. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Yes.
Eat some wings. Fuck it. Sloppy, loud noise in the background. Who gives a shit? Fuck it. Let's go. Loud. Everyone. Just be loud.
Again, good tester game. Last week, I had finally a good week of picks. Finally, I got burned. I think it was the Bears that burned me. I had the Falcons. Not picking the Falcons anymore. Here's my 3 games this week that I like. So I'm 4-5 on the year. I'm 1 game under. I like the Chargers this week. I don't think they'll beat the Bucs, but I've learned the Chargers are one of those teams that always are around the spread. They are getting 6-7 points now. I would take those 7 points. I like the Chargers this week. This is just pure terrible against good. Washington's not a good team. And for everything I just said about the Browns, Washington's not a good team. The Ravens have to be nice and pissed off after what happened on Monday night.
Oh yeah.
I know you're taking and you're giving all those 14 points. I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be absolutely fine. I think the Ravens roll against Washington.
No, I agree with that too. And if they don't, there's real issues there.
Which would be good. And then the final one is the Giants going to LA. Again, this is more the Rams. I think they bounce back. The Giants are It's one thing to lose to the Niners. It's way the Giants lost to the Niners, and this is only in week 3. The Joe Judge wheels are off fast, and that guy got a lot of positive press. So I'd say again, you're giving 13 points, give them. I think the Rams will cover easily. So take the 7 Chargers on the road against Tampa. They always keep games close. Ravens, you're going to give away 14 and you'll win by 28. I think that game's a blowout. And then the Rams, I know you're giving 13. Don't be surprised the Rams have to do a backdoor cover. They might in this game. Very much true. And one thing quickly, these games are a good week of games. Not easy to pick.
No, yeah, I've got a few that I want to throw out there too.
One thing to keep your eye on, because you always like to keep your eye on stuff. The Jets are now sinking into the abyss of that team this year. You always wonder. I thought it was going to be Jacksonville at the beginning of the year. That team has become the Jets. The Jets are 0-4. They just lost to the Broncos. They're getting in fights with teams on the field. Coaches are shaking hands with coaches. The Jets are officially that team this year, Jared. There's always one every year. The Jets have won that award. The Jets are the shit show of the NFL. Shit show.
Kansas City wins easily at home against New England. I'm calling that. The Bills. The Bills, I think, go into Las Vegas and
4-0
and finish and walk home undefeated.
Wow, that'd be 4-0.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
I think it's a tricky game.
I think the Bills don't have an issue with it. I think they end up winning that one easily.
That's another tester. If the Bills win that game, they're actually they're starting to get in that elite form. That's a big game.
Yeah, it really is. That's the one that stood out to me the most, actually.
Must win for the Eagles. Must win for the Eagles. And then where are they? They're in San Francisco.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're not. I don't think they're going to. I don't see them. I don't think they're going to win that game.
I stayed away from that game only because when teams are desperate in the NFL, they usually find a way to win. I had a hard time with that game. I really wanted to take the Niners, but I've learned in these things when a team is desperate, and the Eagles are going to be desperate, it's usually when they rise up and do something big. Falcons, the other team, the Circle, Quinn is on his way out. It's embarrassing that he's a nice man. He is not a good coach. To lose back-to-back weeks to the Cowboys, and he had a lead late at home, and he can't close it. And they had to have Nick Foles. By the way, Trubisky's days are numbered in Chicago. Foles is starting this week again. If Falcons and Quinn, he's on the clock. They're not going to be much longer. And then to the game that if you circled the beginning of the year and you had 0-3 Vikings, 0-3 Texans, I lost my house to you. That is a elimination game. You cannot go 0-4 in this league. And the Vikings or the Texans, someone's going to go 0-4. Impossible game. I'm actually going to throw Jared a curve wrench. Don't be surprised if the Patriots give everything and more, because I thought the Chiefs played that game like a playoff game against the Ravens. It's a short week. I don't think that's a give me. Cam Newton, I'm not saying I was wrong, but I was questioning whether that was going to work. Cam Newton and Bill Belichick is a marriage. That team is rocking and rolling. I think that's going to be a tough game for the Chiefs.
Again, this is kind of like the Browns game. Prove me wrong.
This is a prove me wrong week. I like that.
Yeah.
Like
same. I mean, the same thing goes. Man, wouldn't you love the Titans to beat Pittsburgh too?
They have COVID issues, so that will be postponed until a later date.
Yeah, that's the big bummer of it.
Here's the one thing that's good, and you don't want to celebrate this, but it's just good. Pittsburgh now has their bye week. They're going to make that up during Pittsburgh's natural bye week. I guess that actually worked out for both teams. And by the way, Tennessee had more positive tests today. So Tennessee's – and by the way, that's a shame. I mean, look, we're obviously Browns fans. You feel for the Titans because they're 3-0, and we have learned this from baseball, learned this from watching the Marlins and the Cardinals. This is something that just doesn't go away. When you have an outbreak like this in a team, it is something that takes a long time to get through. So I hope everybody's safe down there. And for the Steelers, it's a wrench. I mean, hey, it's part of COVID. Baseball can deal with it, so can football. But to have their bye week all of a sudden on a week where they were not gearing up for it, that's they can't be thrilled about that. So prove me wrong. A lot of teams, including our own Browns. Again, coming into this podcast, I probably would have taken the Cowboys, but after listening to everyone, I'm now starting to think, do I really believe in this? I do believe this more when people think. You know what? Browns win this game. Let's see what happens. The city of Cleveland and our fans, we need it. Because what we're about to talk about next, what happened fucking awful.
I don't want to talk about it. And he's Andy Billman. I'm Jared Watson. Andy
Now it's time
Cleveland.
for the Cleveland
Can we stop?
Indians.
Can we shut it off? Can we shut it off?
Now, here we go.
Son of a bitch.
I'm going to pause so you can put that transition noise. So, the Indians last week, we were getting excited. We're ready. We're playoff ready. Excited. All this stuff. Shane Bieber, Cy Young. Remember that? Oh, my gosh. J-Ram's going to win the MVP, or maybe Bieber's going to win the MVP. What's going to happen there? You know what? Hey, maybe we'll lose a game here and there, but you know what? We'll figure it out. We'll beat the Yankees.
Tribe's looking hot. Tribe's looking hot. They're getting hot at the right time, Andy. Hot at the right time. Here you go.
I said this. The AL Central's best division in baseball. That was a shit show.
Well, here's the thing that plays into that, Andy. You have to remember that we were limited in the teams that we even fucking played. So we have no way of figuring out who is actually good and who is actually not. And it looks like we figured that out really fucking quickly. In 2 games, actually, 48 hours.
So let's go through game 1. Shane Bieber pitched. Shane Bieber left the mound. The game was over. For everyone out there, game 1 was that. If everybody wants to analyze that, you can just say whatever. We love Shane. Shane is our ace going forward.
And it'll be fine. That will be fine. It's okay. It will be okay.
Point out Clayton Kershaw. Point out Greg Maddux. Other aces have had moments like this on the mound. It happens. I know it seems weird. It happens. He got banged around now. He got banged around. And then there was Wednesday night. We had the rain delay. We had winds coming in and out. And then we had one of those typical crazy baseball games. If we were not Indians fans, it was a wonderful playoff game. Back and forth, 4-0. Joe Urshela, who I'm going to get to in a second, remember him, hits a grand slam off our guy, Karinchak, who I love, who had a complete Met-Del biting his glove. Not good. So all that to be said, one of those back and forth games. Naylor, who's having Mr. October now for Cleveland, having a great play. They take him out for Luplo. Luplo gets a big hit. Oh, my God, all these things are going on. And then Hernandez gets a hit. 9-8. Here we go. Brad Hand. We didn't like him at one point, but he's been playing good. He leads the league in saves. Okay, I think we can do this. And then the walks happened. And everything turned into shit! Flying to Shields, can't stay on his feet. Brad Hand makes a terrible, terrible play with his glove. And then the Bronx Bombers walk out, and Chapman again slams the door on our face. I thought Jordan Lupo's quote said it all. Quote, that's an absolute roller coaster of emotions right there. I don't think you can say we gave up every at-bat, every pitch we were in. You have to give credit to the other side. That was a fun game to play in and watch. Well, thanks, Jordan. Look, it was. It was very, very fun. But that was a heartbreaking. I'll just say it. I'm not over this loss yet. I have been in a funk since Wednesday night. I have not been happy. I don't like how things have been going. I haven't been feeling good. I don't like certain teams and whatever else. I have been, and it's been in me for a while. And I got really mad about 17 for sure when they lost the Yankees. Good news, Jared. It is back in me like a rage of ball of fire. I don't like the Yankees. I don't like how they lost. I don't like Gio Urshela hitting big hits when he should be playing for Cleveland. I'm gonna get that right now. Gio Urshela, this front office done a lot of nice things. He should be on the Indians. He should not be playing for that team. He should be on the Indians playing third base.
I don't want to talk about any of this. I don't like
it. I don't like Gio bat flipping, running around.
I don't like any of it either, Andy.
Bad loss.
I stopped watching the shit show of game 1 to watch the shit show of the debates. And then I went to bed early in around the 7th inning. By the way, once we get through this, I got something else. I got another bone to pick after we get through this depressing review of the end of this Cleveland Indians.
This was bad. This was Jose Mesa bad.
Andy, that game too, I went to bed early and I just was hoping I'd wake up and see the opposite of what I saw.
Ugh.
And I've just had to let it go because, Andy, this season the way that they played, the way that they hit, were there exciting moments? Was there some excitement? Was it great to be able to watch baseball? Am I grateful for the season? I absolutely am. Do I see things that I am hopeful about the Indians' future? Absolutely. But we got to be real here. That fucking hitting all season was so atrocious. Lindor did not play like a guy who was looking for a contract, like a guy who was expecting to make big bucks. He didn't. I felt completely let down. Santana came back to earth.
Yeah, he had a bad year.
The outfield
was
ridiculous. The Shields, Judges fly balls like I did when people would take me off first base and throw me in the outfield. Don't do that.
Multiple times falling down. I will quote Tom Hamilton. It's like he's wearing ice skates.
I don't have any energy for. Let's do this real quick too. As much as we praise the front office and the moves that they have made, wouldn't it be nice to have had Mejia still there? Wouldn't it be nice to have actual catchers that can hit the ball?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Austin Hedges cannot be batting to keep the season going. Sorry.
Andy, I guess I'm just saying that those two games just reminded me of, as much as I wanted to think of all the things that I loved about the Cleveland Indians, those last two games, all they did was remind me of everything that I just loathe about this team. Because as much as the hitting came through in the moments that they needed to in game 2,
they played really well.
That hand fell apart.
Finally. Finally fell apart in the biggest moment. And by the way, with this
how many home run meatball pitches is that team going to throw? I'm sorry, but you want to sit here and talk about having this great starting pitching staff and having a solid pitching lineup and having great guys and Karinchak, get out there. Grand slam. Fuck it.
I love Karinchak. He stunk.
What in the world, Andy? Meatballs. And I listen, when you watch the broadcast, they were not.
Let's go through this.
That's another thing, because A-Rod drove me up a wall too. If I had to hear him go, one more time, I was going to jump through.
I listen to Tom Hamilton all.
A-Rod, you are very smart. You are very talented, and you are not doing you are not doing these broadcasts justice. You are not. Period. I couldn't have been more bored and more annoyed than listening to those two during those games. They were awful. And that's not me just taking out my anger on the Indians on those guys. They were terrible. It was terrible announcing.
I listened to a radio delay of Tom Hamilton. That's how bad it was. So the night look, it was all bad. The pitching didn't show up at all. In the 9th inning, set up everything that we're talking about and more.
Aggravated about the whole thing. It's making me forget. I'm doing non sequiturs all over the place because there was so much that I just did not like. It did not feel like they even thought they were playing playoff baseball. It did not feel that way for that team. For me. Now, maybe because you stayed up and you watched the back half of that game, it felt like playoff baseball. And maybe Luplo felt like it.
Luplo had a big moment.
I'm telling you right now, I just didn't get that energy out of them. They you're playing at home. You got guys jumping the fence and getting arrested to come and watch you.
Well,
here's you can't get your shit together against the. Give me a break. So my point at the beginning of this was, we're talking about the pitching staff. Every single one of those home runs was a ball down the middle of the plate. It was a mistake pitch. Those Yankees took advantage of every single one of them. And even one that was hit away, and I don't even remember who did it. It could have been Gardner, who, by the way, of all my Yankees that I can't stand, he's the one that I think is just the I think I would fight him. I think I would fight Gardner if I met him. He seems like a guy that I do not want to be around. He is such a. You remember? Boom, 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 boom. You remember that shit in the dugout? He's such just a twit. I just can't. I can't take it now. See, now I'm so pissed off. I hate. This is why I'm glad I went to bed, because my blood is boiling. I'm sweating. I'm so angry right now over what happened in that series. Andy, put him to bed. Bring him back next year. I'm done with the Indians. Oh, by the way, We don't know what we're doing with the outfield. Oh, by the way, what's going on with Frankie Lindor? Oh, by the way, let's hope to God Tito's okay. There's so much going on right now.
Let's. Francona's very important. I'm going to go through the ninth inning.
Oh, good. Oh, you're not done. Cool.
No. We're gonna.
Oh, okay, wait. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, that's great.
Gio Urshela really, really annoys me because I mentioned that before the series, and I could tell he's developed into a nice player. The Indians front office has done a very nice job, but Yandy Diaz and Gio Urshela should still be on the Indians. Yeah. These are two players that should not be playing for other teams in the playoffs. And Gio Urshela is not just a good player; he's becoming a stay-hold. He is becoming a big pillar.
9 years, dude. Was it 9 years? How long?
Yeah.
I mean, am I reading that right? Was it 9 years?
Well, look, Gio Urshela, that was a mistake. Tom Monas on Facebook. They got good regular season pitching, but when it comes to the playoffs, their pitching was horrible. Yes, it was. By the way, on all fronts. Now, Wickren was good. He's a Boilermaker, so he's good. I want to promote him. I thought there were some other moments here and there. By the way, Phil Maydon settled that game down to points, but to Tom's point, Shane Bieber in game one. I don't want to talk about game one, but I'll go down that road real quickly. By the way, Sandy did nothing. I'll just say this. Sandy didn't pitch. Sandy did not make those errors. I know Sandy had a rough series. All that to be said, Sandy did not cost this team anything. Shane Bieber would have stunk with Tito without Tito. And I like Bieber. I think he'll learn from this. I think he'll be better from this. But Bieber had points in that game to get that game settled down. And every time the Tribe would score, he'd give up 2 more in the very following inning. And Bieber's got to be better than that. Bieber has to – by the way, Bieber looks shook. Bieber walked off that mound shook. And he'll be fine. He'll be good next year. Now, Gio Urshela really annoys me. And Brad Hand this whole year has been going through definitely Joe Borowski territory, but he had that moment on the mound where he couldn't catch that ball was, and by the way, how was that not ruled an error? This is just amazing too on top of it. But all this to be said, looking in the future, let's get to the elephant in the room. That was a horrible loss. We went through it all. The pitching was pitching and defense. Pitching and defense cost the Tribe everything. Would not have had that in my bingo card, reasons to lose. Now, let's get to the bigger story here. What is ahead for Mr. Lindor? Yeah. Lindor had some very interesting comments. Still positive, still wants to come back to Cleveland, all that other stuff. Yep. Now, let's keep this in mind for hope, okay? Not hope long-term, hope in 2021. So I want Frankie to come back. I do. Now, is Santana coming back in his team? No. Santana's got an option for $10 million. I don't see him coming back. Is Brad Hand's option being picked up next year? No. I don't think either one of those guys are coming back. So that is $20 million you can give the Frankie to keep him there in his place. Now, here is something, though, I am feeling with this team. At the end of the game, do you know who hung around and was watching everything that was going on? Reyes and Josh Naylor. And that showed a sign to me. Usually in the past, it'd be Frankie, it'd be J-Ram, it'd be other guys in there. The new guys are Reyes and Naylor.
Well, and so not to leave J-Ram did not have a bad series.
Played well. I'm going to actually, and this is going to fire up my partner. I know Lindor did not play well. I don't think he played horrible. I know people are going to hate that comment. I don't think he played horrible. And I think he needs to come back. I don't think the Indians should give up on Lindor.
He even had an error in those 2 games. He had an error in the first game, didn't he?
I don't remember that, but I was
maybe. All right, maybe. Well, see, this is why I shouldn't even, because I'm forgetting things.
But here's the thing I'll say about Lindor. Did he have bad at-bats in a series? Yes. Did he play a good series? No. And Frankie needs to play a good series against the Yankees to win. All that to be said, I think Frankie needs to come back. I don't think you're going to get players like the prospect train of Frankie Lindor doesn't excite me. I'm just going to say it. If the Indians are going to trade for Frankie Lindor and you want me to come in here and talk about exciting prospects, Jared, I'm not going to be excited. I'm not going to be excited about big prospects coming to Cleveland.
Well, there's really not they don't need a rebuild like that. They don't need. Look, I saw somebody out there talk about if you're trading Frankie and getting 2 all-star level players along with some future.
Again, I'm not going to.
No, and first of all, they're not even going to get what some people think they're going to get for Lindor. Yeah. So I just
think read the Athletic article for everybody out there. I think the Indians need to try really hard to keep Frankie Lindor. Again, I want to repeat this. Did Frankie have a bad series against the Yankees? No. Do I think he made an impact on the series, though? No. And he's got to. For a player of that stature, he needs to make an impact on these games. And he's got to have better at-bats. But I think people are crapping on the wrong guy here. I love Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber stunk in game 1. He stunk. He cost him the game. Mm-hmm. Every time the Indians scored, he gave up more runs the following inning. I thought he was far worse than Lindor. Far worse. Karinchak, love him. I believe in Karinchak too. These are 2 of our young core pitchers. Karinchak stunk in that inning. He bit his glove harder than he pitched. And by the way, after he gave up that home run, he couldn't throw a strike to save his life. He literally did have a Ricky Vaughn moment where he couldn't throw a strike. Couldn't do anything. It really, really showed. Like, Brad Hand stunk. Couldn't do anything. I agree with Tom Monas. I'm going to echo this. This is where I'm getting to, Tom. Ready? The Indians are really at a first-time crossroads. If you're going to trade Frankie, fine. But don't tell me to get excited about Frankie being gone. If you got prospects coming into what Jared's saying, and I hear this from other people too, fine. It's all good. It's all good. But I don't want to hear from people and say like, oh, aren't you excited about these prospects? No, I'm not. The Indians need to be keeping Frankie Lindor in Cleveland and building off him. They don't want to do it. I mean, it's pretty clear. I don't think Frankie's coming back in 2021. I for the first time.
And that blows my mind too, because Andy, you're talking about being excited. I've been excited. We've been excited for a decade. We've had decades of prospects, right? Yes. Now we can jump to Lindor's comments, and Lindor did make the comment of, "Look, the Dolans have spent money and they haven't spent money, and they've gotten the same result both either way."
Yes, and
I am not going to be mad at the Dolans. At the end of the day, I'm just not. Is it what I want? No, but I'm kind of over. Andy, I don't know. As long as the Dolans aren't on television telling me how I should feel, I'm okay. I'm okay with the Dolans, right? Just don't tell me 4 or 5 times before the season starts that I need to enjoy him while he's here. That's all. Other than that, I'm happy.
I just have seen this from the Indians where here's where I'm at too. I want to see Bobby Bradley playing. I want to see Daniel Johnson playing. I want to see these guys playing. You know what? If that takes a step back to go forward in 2022, I'm now there. That is a different answer. Like, I'm tired of this. Like, DeShields is a good man. He brought some things, but that defense was so bad in the playoffs, and he showed a little bit of that in the regular season, but not like his playoff defense was horrific. Naquin, I got to be fair. I've now seen enough. I can't do the Naquin experience anymore. I can't do it. Luplow coming for a pinch hit, I can handle. Luplow playing every other day, I can't do that either. Jared, I can't do it. I can't do this stuff. Am I excited about Josh? Oh, take care. I want to see these young kids.
Perez, what are we doing at catcher? Andy, what are we doing at catcher?
I'll tell you right now, 2021 for the Indians, I think it's going to be a sidestep to a step backwards to get better. Yeah. Because I want to start seeing these younger players playing. And that's why, even though I think it's wrong, they're not going to keep Frankie. I think they're going to trade him. I think they're going to get more prospects. Because if you watched and you saw that, and by the way, the Indians almost snaked their way through game 3. And my gut tells me, please Zach on the mound. And knowing what I know, I think the Indians would have figured out a way to keep that game competitive too. Now,
is Frankie leaving for a big long-term contract? Or is he taking a 1 year?
Well, he has 1 more year of arbitration.
Oh, shoot, never mind. Ignore. Yeah, sorry.
But that's what he meant. Okay. No, it's okay. This is the last year of arbitration. And after that, he's a total free agent, and it's done. I just don't see the Indians.
Indians will keep him.
I don't think they're going to keep him all. And again, the Indians are really in that fork in the road moment. And so what I see, Bobby Bradley needs to start playing.
That's my point. I apologize. Let me rephrase that question. What team is going to give the Indians what they want for that 1 year?
Well, that's a different question. And by the way, it's trickier because of COVID and the baseball economics. Will a team really want to pay for that contract and then trade for him? I don't know.
Do the Indians end up getting stuck with him because they don't get what they want?
See, the Indians need to. I'm going to answer this way. If I'm Antonetti, I'm working. I'm saying goodbye to Hand. Goodbye to. By the way, Santana had a fantastic 2019 and was a big part of the 15-16. I don't want to shit on him too much.
No.
He just did not play well.
No,
Sorry, he did not play well. So he's got to go because Bobby Bradley's ready to go. Time to go. But I would tell Frankie we need a leader because the Indians will not have a face of this organization. I've actually come to that conclusion too. Your face is Shane Bieber. I don't know if he's going to lead you. Frankie can lead this team. I think Jose can lead this team. But you could really use a Frankie and Jose tandem to get this team to a place where it's going to go. Because Jose and it's basically Jose and the Indians with Josh Naylor, who looked exciting. I do like Josh Naylor. I do like Reyes too. I like Reyes. But again, the Indians, if you lose Frankie, you are going to a place of 500 or probably a little less, if I'm being honest.
Right, and we've talked about that. We've talked about it, Andy.
I just think the Indians keep Frankie and re-sign him to a long-term deal. That's what I would do. You're going to lose the Hand money. You're going to lose the Santana money. Keep Frankie in there and then build around those key parts for a couple more years. Do it. The Indians are not going to do that. Frankie has decided through these comments in The Athletic and through other media outlets, he is not going to give a hometown discount. He made that pretty clear to me in that article. So I think the Indians, my prediction is they're going to trade Frankie, more parts in, and for the first time in 2021, I foresee the Indians actually in a slight rebuild. Not all the way because you got Bieber and you got J-Ram, but you're in a rebuild. You're going to start seeing, I mean, again, I will state this one last time. The Jordan Luplow, Naquin, we play him. I'm done with that. I cannot do it. The Shields, love you. Got to get rid of you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready to start seeing some younger kids playing in some of these spots. Okay, one more thing. And here's another one. I would love to keep Hernandez. I really liked him. Yeah. Good core not young, but good core player. They're not going to keep him either. So there's going to be all sorts of people running around new. I just don't. That's why I'm saying my prediction hat tells me Lindor will get traded, and I think you're going to see a rebuild. Not a total rebuild, but you're going to see a rebuild next year. Indians are going to have a tough time winning games, I think, next year. Like, they're going to win 70 to 80, 80 to 90 playoffs. I don't know. 70 to 80, yes. 80 to 90, I think it's going to be tough. Would you keep...
He's Andy Billman. I'm Jared.
Oh, wait, we got more. I got more. Look, we're not done.
I'm so
I have been
up. I just feel like I'm just getting
Wednesday.
it. Left,
boom,
right,
boom,
left,
boom.
Right.
Okay.
It's just, you thought it was over after they lost those two games? No.
I have been pissed.
Clearly.
I have been pissed. Anyways, by the way, Samantha Bunton is a great follow on Twitter. She really knows baseball well, and it's awesome. Love Samantha Bunton. She works for NBC. Great follow. My from time to time text with her about baseball. She's so funny. Anyways, last thought.
I'm gonna follow.
She's a great follow.
I'm surprised they don't already.
Francona, we all hope he's well. We all hope he's doing much better and has a great offseason. I want to repeat this. There was no Brad Mills. There was no hitting coach Van Berkeley, and several other members of the Indian staff had to leave because of COVID reasons. Sandy was in an impossible spot. Do I think Sandy had a managerial place where he's going to take this next step and become this grand, like, the torch is being passed nicely? No. I do. I'm sorry. I think Sandy's getting hit way too hard. What the fuck would anybody else do with seeing Cookie Carrasco implode the way he did in the fourth inning? I think Francona brings in. Okay, Tom Mona says no. I finally got Tom Mona's on my opposite side. Let me explain to me, Tom on Facebook. Let me explain to you why. In the fourth inning with Cookie Carrasco, I would have done the same thing. We saw this from Cookie this year. When Cookie started to unravel, it unraveled quickly. So they brought in Karinchak. Karinchak's your guy. You're trying to get a strikeout. It just didn't work out. Okay? Would I have put in Jordan Lupo?
Yeah.
Fuck no. But you know what? It worked out. Lupo got the biggest hit in the game and tied it up. So I saw things from Sandy. Look, I don't think
pulling Cookie was the absolute right move.
I thought it was too. I'm sorry. Not at all. Tom Monas hates me now. Oh, Tom, come on back. Now look. Do I think Sandy's going to be a great manager? No. Do I think this torch has been passed? No, I don't. And by the way, I thought he had other moments that were very poor. But I think people are blaming Sandy, and I don't think Sandy should be the scapegoat. I just want to mention that.
I think Sandy stepped in and stepped up, and this team still
impossible spot.
Finished strong.
I'm just saying.
And their collapse in those last 2 games against the Yankees were not on Sandy, period.
I feel like I made a new friend. Tom Monos and I are good again. Right. Yeah. There we go, Tom. See? But anyways, the whole Facebook discussion on a podcast. But check out the comments. Read them. But I love the Monuses, by the way.
So do I.
Can't wait to meet him.
Well, it would make sense because honestly, Andy, the Monuses are like they're like my brothers. All of them.
Right, okay. Well, I got to meet all these people someday.
Yeah.
But here's where I want to wrap up on the boat of the Indians. I felt this way going into the series, and I'm feeling this way now. I really wanted the Indians to beat the Yankees, and there's going to be a season of change, team name change. We will not be saying the Indians.
Oh yeah, shit. That's the funny thing is that I wasn't even thinking about it. I forgot.
The season of change is coming. I would not be surprised if Francona debates about coming back because of his health. I think you're going to see the last of Frankie Lindor. I think you're going to see this team have to play some new players in new spots. The Carlos Santana looking every day at Hernandez, who only played here 1 year. Those guys aren't coming back. Branham's not coming back. So there's a lot more change than we've seen in recent years. Even when there was an influx of change after getting their asses swept by the Astros, you saw that. It's going to be even more this time because I'm telling you, I feel it in my gut. I want to see Bobby Bradley playing. I want to see Daniel Johnson playing. I want to see some more of these guys playing. It's been time. It's time to put them in there and let them run around, Jared. I'm ready to see it. And by the way, this guy Logan Allen's supposed to be a star. I'm ready to see it. Let's see it. You're going to see Jose at second, Logan at third, and I don't know who at short. Maybe one of those guys we got over from the Padres. Those days are coming.
Fuck it, let's roll.
Let's go. Last thought. This is how bummed out I am. I love baseball, and I've actually been in the baseball playoffs. I have not been able to watch a game since. I kind of watched the Dodgers game. That's it. I will be back tonight. I want to see what the Padres do. I will also watch NBA Finals when we get to next, but it's been hard.
Well,
this loss really affected me.
I think
much more than the other.
Yeah, it really did. I was bummed. That's why I was so turned off after the first game and the second. Andy, I'm all in on NFL right now. I'm anticipating college football, and I'm leaving it at that. There's nothing else to. I'm sorry. I
overranking this. This was a terrible loss. Terrible.
No, look at me. Terrible. I told you from the beginning I didn't even want to talk about it. This show I have been looking forward to the least of any show that we've done in a while.
Terrible.
Because I just don't want to. I know that shit. Like I know things are going to change. I know things are going to get. Yes, thank you, Tom. OHIO. Absolutely.
Boiler up.
Thanks for cheering me up, Tom. Tom is our cheering section this evening as we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thank you for that, Andy. I don't have like what do you want me to do? Like I'm sitting here and my job is to tell you, hey, get excited about the Indians. Well, I can't right now because I don't even know what their team name is next year. So get excited for the Cleveland baseball team. Oh, wait a minute. There's going to be a lot of face changes. Oh, wait a minute. The face of their team is going to be gone. Oh, wait a minute. I'm still worried to death about their leadership when it comes to Tito Francona. So, I just wanted to put it to bed, Andy. I wanted to put it to bed. So can we put it to bed?
The 2020 season for the Indians is officially over.
Oh, thank God.
Cleveland and beyond will be changing too. We're going to be going to Evergreen soon. I thought I'd plug that right now. We're very excited about that. I'm working on another podcast called The Best Fridays in Football. I actually make picks on there. They called it Andy's Candies. It's at the end of the show. Kind of funny. We're looking for sponsorship. We're looking for sponsorship on this show too. There's also a cool new show called Set the Edge. I do with Holly Wetzel every Wednesday. It's a very fun show. I love doing it. And Holly Wetzel is an up and coming star. Jared and I are both excited about having her around. She is great. And Kaylee Waterhouse, we mentioned a lot. You're going to start seeing her more. Jared and I have been working our asses off this last 2 or 3 weeks. We cannot wait. Yes, exactly.
Curtis Magovic on Facebook. When do catchers and pitchers report?
Not soon enough.
Shut up.
Not soon enough. By the way,
get out of here. We're done.
By the way, are we all going to get excited about the MVP and the AL Cy Young coming to 2 a.m.? You know what's going to happen.
I know.
And by the way, well deserved. Well deserved. So all that stuff's coming down the road. Curtis, yes, smiley face emoji, big time. So please check out Set the Edge. We're going to be going to, by the way, something else that we're going to be doing. I think Sunday nights now we're going to do beyond after the Browns games now.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing the live shows after Browns games on Sunday nights. That's the goal.
Yeah, because we've noticed that
maybe we'll adjust when there's we've only got one more Thursday game. Is that all we have this season?
No, we're done. We're done. It's all Sundays at 1 except for 1 4 o'clock game. Right. I'm here to help. I mean, look, there's been
for some reason I thought there was one that was a flex, and I think maybe that's
to be fair. The influx of information in 2020 normal week. I agree with what someone said. 2020 stamina is impressive. It really is. and this has been proven. So we're gonna do Sunday nights because I noticed that people like to watch more Sunday nights than Mondays.
2020 been taking that ginseng, brother.
Yeah, oh my God, it really has. So we will do recaps of college football. Recaps of clearly the Browns will be probably more like a 30-minute to an hour show, but I think that'll be better because I can tell from you guys out there watching, Sunday nights will be better. Give us thumbs up, thumbs down if you want to, but I think we'll do Sunday night this week, right after the Browns beat the Cowboys. Now, all that excitement stuff, please keep watching. We can't wait. Yada, 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 yada. Yes, dog. Almost done. So last 2 or 3 thoughts. Auburn, Georgia, great game. That's on ESPN. I'll be watching that this weekend. The Irish have got COVID issues. I love the Irish too, even though I got a Boilermaker flag behind me. I'm going to change up my backgrounds here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Put an Irish flag up there. Also put some Cleveland Brown stuff behind me. But more importantly, when it comes to the Irish, I hope everybody's okay. There's been a lot of stuff going on with the COVID and that stuff. I've been go Cowboys. Oh, come on, Tom. It's not comments on Facebook commenting on the Cowboys. We love the Browns. We want the Browns to win.
It's being an asshole.
Oh, that's good. All right, good for you, Tom. No, I'm fighting with Tom. Dog's fighting with Tom. I'll be watching that. Early returns on football. If you want a team, and yes, we work with the Buddy Martin Show too. There are 2 gentlemen out of Ocala, Florida, great Buddy and Brendan Martin team. They do a great show. It's not just because I'm working with those boys a lot, and so is Jared. Because they've been helping us out with social media and stuff. The one thing I'll say quickly is Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts. They are a wonderful combo. Florida is sneaky national championship good. Sneaky. Telling you. Even if I weren't with those 2 guys, they looked great against Ole Miss. That was a whipping. By the way, how about Tom? How about Mike Leach? I was going to say Tom. How about Mike? I got Tom.
Andy. The Browns are going to win. Jeez, Lord. The Buckeyes are going to roll through their 8 games. They're going to roll into college.
What happens when they play Purdue in the Big Ten championship game?
Oh, they're going to roll. They're going to roll. It's not even. Listen. It's Clemson, Ohio State. End of story. I'm done.
Florida, Bama 2.
Clemson, Ohio State.
Florida and Bama 2.
Clemson.
I'm telling you, Florida's really good.
Clemson, Ohio State.
You watch that Trask and Pitts situation. It's going to be tricky. Hopefully my Irish, if they ever can recover, we'll come back too. So that's that. Okay. Lastly, I'm not a Lakers fan, never have been, always Cavs all the way. But even back in the 80s, I would be more of a Celtics guy, but I won't go into that situations today. I am glad to see LeBron. I do not like the Heat at all. So I'm glad to see the Heat look like it, but it does not look good. That does not look good at all. They have major players out again tonight. I am not a Spoelstra guy. I'm nothing against them. I just don't like rooting for Miami at all. So I'm rooting for LeBron, not for the Lakers. I'm rooting for LeBron. It does look like he's on his way to a 4th championship.
Good. And in the West, where he couldn't win, remember?
The East looks terrible. Next year will change, though, because Darius Garland's going to be on his 2nd year. Big things.
Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Cleveland and Beyond, on Twitter @CLE and Beyond. You can also shoot us an email, andyandjared@gmail.com. That's JARID. And hit us up on the website, which is getting rebuilt right now as we speak. So actually, you know what? Don't go to the website right now. It's kind of ugly. I actually like the new
You can hit up our PR guy, Tom Monas. He'll handle it.
clevelandandbeyond.net is the website. Anyways, like I said, big updates coming, big changes coming, because we will be part of Evergreen Podcasts. That's going to be a fun thing. I am looking forward to that partnership. And as always, we are brought to you by Waiting for Next Year. Check them out. Original Cleveland sports reporting at waitingfornextyear.com. Andy, final thought.
Let's break down that ninth inning one more time. No, okay.
He's Andy Billman.
Okay. I'm not fucking with you.
Andy and Jared.
Say one more thing.
Go ahead. Say your one more thing.
Nick Chubb will outplay Zeke Elliott, and the Browns will win.
Andy and Jared, Cleveland and Beyond.
I still love you, Karen Check. I love you.
Take care. Talk again soon.
Love you.
The Indians.
God, was that exhausting. Not the show.
I couldn't even finish either game. That's how exhausted I was.
I was never more watching Bob Ross trying to get my vibes down after a game in my life. I watched Bob Ross for a good hour.
ESPN, rebuild your lineup with who's calling these games.
Lovely networked. They did. I love ESPN. I was listening to Tom Hamilton.
Talk to you later. Bye.
On delay.